don't get to play characters like this every day. And on top of that, it was the challenge involved. It was the physical transformation. Denis, as soon as we talked about Feyd, he described to me his image of how he saw him and how physically imposing he wanted him to be. And so I knew that there was going to be a good challenge in that.
To bring Feyd Rautha to the screen is a responsibility. He's one of the most iconic characters in the Dune novel. And honestly, I'm very proud of this version of Feyd Rautha.
The character is psychotic. He truly takes pleasure in killing. And for him, the ultimate power is to get Arrakis.
You humiliated our family. You humiliated me. Kiss or die.
Feyd is everything that Rabban will never be. He's just as vicious, but he's also more intelligent than Rabban. It's just nothing but pure jealousy and resentment, anger and hatred.
The choice of Austin Butler, I feel blessed that Austin came on board. Austin portrayed a kind of psychotic serial killer that is a cross mix between a sword master and Mick Jagger. He's really brought something mesmerizing and hypnotic to the screen.
I want to go on the ground. Prepare my troops.
My lord, I would recommend you stay inside those...
We had more conversations about it, figuring out why does Feyd act the way he does. That led into finding Feyd's voice.
Send this message to the Baron. The North is liberated and secure. Harvest spice at will.
Which sort of came out of this idea of living with the Baron from a very young age and seeing that this is the man who has power. This ends up being in this brutal world where you're leading with fear rather than love. Who do you look up to? And who do you emulate? And that's where that came from.
I'm here, Atreides.
This is good. You're controlling how close you're going.
Yeah, I guess. Well, let me see. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, don't.
I'm just trying to see.
I didn't have as much time with this as I had with Elvis, but I knew that the fight scenes were going to be really taxing. And I wanted them to feel powerful, and so we trained a lot. Roger's, he's brilliant. He flew to Los Angeles, and we trained months before I ever began shooting. And so we ended up doing a lot of Kali, which is Filipino stick fighting. And so that trained me a lot with the knife work and that sort of thing. And it was really trying to find what is Feyd's fighting style. Finding the way that Feyd walks and the way that he breathes.
Stay back! Austin is quite talented physically. He picked up the choreography not only really quickly, he picked up the personification and the movement, and he was constantly, in between camera setups, he'd be practicing his sidekick, he's practicing all the different movements, and then he would get to a point where he made it feel as natural as possible, like he's done it for years.
Show me who you are. There he is.
Feyd Rautha is a character that is a very deranged and sadistic person. But there is a redeeming quality in Feyd in the fact that he actually respects and has a sense of honor in terms of how he wants to fight or how he wants to kill a worthy opponent. I spoke with Austin about that, and I said, maybe what you are is every time you take a life, you're an eater of souls. You think that it makes you stronger. And so I think he kind of took that in.
You fought well, Atreides.
Austin agreed to play this part right after he played Elvis. Two opposites, and he completely went for it. Total transformation, he's unrecognizable.
It's a long hours for him to spend on that makeup chair.
Denis had an image of Feyd physically that he described to me. He told me this idea of black teeth, and at first I was skeptical, and then I started seeing images from different cultures where people would paint their teeth black as a sign of beauty. And I thought, that's really interesting. Is it a sense of when you come into maturity and a sense of vanity, or is it an intimidation thing?
Yeah, and you really get an effect of the sort of the black teeth. It's more you go like, wow, what happened?
Yeah,
It's
and
like
it kind of looks empty, but they're still shiny. So it's special.
The entire team came together and created this, my bald head. And it was amazing the first time I put it on. I didn't know how it would look at all, and as soon as I saw it, it all kind of clicked for me.
It goes from his cheekbones all the way back here. So it's a complicated prosthetic to cast because it's a collapsible cord, because there's so many undercuts and you don't want to have a seam line anywhere. So the inside, the head of Austin's head consists of like 5 pieces that we push into this mold. So it's kind of, it's tricky. It takes a while to get just one.
Once I saw myself in the mirror and I didn't have any hair, we had the black teeth, and you just start to see the transformation, and that just becomes a blast because then you can lose yourself in it.
I'm happy to finally meet you, cousin. You wouldn't be the first relative I've killed.
Austin was a lovely, kind person, but has somehow transformed into this like evil, terrifying beast.
She's your pet?
Austin Butler is extraordinary as Fade Rautha. I mean, really extraordinary. We did a cast Zoom, and he sounded like Stellan. And like Zendaya and I were joking about it afterwards because people were just kind of reading through the script on the Zoom, and then Austin started doing his thing, and everyone kind of like started acting with the camera more.
I think for all of us, we were like, oh, we have to get our shit together because this dude is coming in and he's blowing everybody away. There's more of an evil to him instead of an ego. There's just a bigger sense of the design and his control of it.
Only pleasure remains.
Just embrace this character. I don't think he realizes what a star he is now. His trajectory is just, it's off the charts.
Stellan and Dave are both such sweet and funny guys, and then they're playing such nefarious characters. We just had a blast. They more just welcomed me with open arms and were very, very kind to me.
I ought to drown you in that tub. Don't be hasty.
Those are the characters that can be hard to justify their actions, but yet humanity is full of those types of people, so shining a light on that part of the human condition is a fascinating thing to explore.